Okay, so we're at this castle, Faleem, or whatever it is, and we have entered. Now, this is going to be a tough dungeon crawl, and not that one that I'm going to be particularly fond of, I feel. I brought all my equipment, I've brought some water, I've brought my snacks, all ready for a long sit-in, because this is going to be difficult. Much more difficult than anything that you've got a walkthrough for, because I don't have a walkthrough for this one. This is going to be tough. We have to check around for all the quest locations. Now, this is quest location number 1. If you are very lucky, you will find the quest item here, but we haven't. We just found some random treasure. I think that's one anyway. We're just going to have to look around for it. Now, sneaking around these corridors in... Oh, there's a spider. Sneaking around these corridors is actually quite nerve-wracking, because you've got this haunting music in the background, and I always find it to be far more atmospheric than anything in Oblivion, and I find it really... these dungeons really oppressive as well. They're just... there's something about them to make them really claustrophobic and really something that makes you feel generally depressed and horrid. That's not good about a game, but still I suppose that's what they're aiming for. Again, if I was a good dungeon explorer, I would just be collecting all the loot I can, but I don't need it. I really don't need any more loot than I've already got. I've got tons of loot, and even though I'm using my old silver broadsword I effectively had when I was first level, and I've just got steel gear on, don't really need anything else. I've got all the magic that I need, and I can take care of most of these low level characters by swinging my sword around. As long as I don't get paralysed, as long as I don't meet a lich that doesn't blow itself up, I'll be fine. But anyway, what we need to do is have plenty of saving and plenty of persistence to find the treasure, because you know, even now we're just wandering around pretty at random. I mean, I'm not marking this out on the map, and I don't trust the Daggerfall auto map. Is pretty awful, as I've said before. Oh, look at that, it's a werewolf. Like, they don't have any treasure on them. I won't even bother searching them. But yeah, there's nothing in this room either. But this is what this game is about. We're looking for a tiny little document in a massive castle, which is... I don't know if you imagine maybe castle... yeah, probably a bit bigger than something like Castle Windsor, and you're looking for one document out of that whole lot, and also you're attacked by lots of monsters in the meantime. Look at that, a nice orc statue. Just for decoration, of course. Can't remember the kind of games that were around when this was out. I mean, I think Ultima Underworld was out a few years, about 3-4 years behind this, so this is quite ahead of the time. It's certainly ahead of the time of Arena. It's, you know, footsteps sound a lot better, the sounds are a lot better, and the clipping is a lot better as well. It seems a lot more realistic and a little bit less repetitive. Hello, groovy skeleton warrior. And these guys always have some decent stuff on them. What's he got? He's got... that looks like an elven longbow that he's got. We'll take that. Again, I don't need it. I haven't really used archery. You don't need it if you've got decent magic. And who's that? That's another skeletal warrior just wandering around. He's going to come at me, I'm sure. Now, all these places are really... They're full of random enemies, and obviously something like Bethesda didn't at all bother about the storyline. Oh, we've got enough arrows to shoot people down if we wanted to. But I suppose what you could say is that what Daggerfall is like is that you've got these enormous cities where you get this population of humans and elves, or civilized people anyway, living, and they're completely safe havens. When you get there, you feel like, oh, this is where all the humans have decided to, all the men and women have decided to like group bandy together and keep all the evil people out, like these werewolves. Look at this. This is a bit steep. Yeah, ooh, that's really steep. Of course, we could levitate down there, but we won't right now. Yeah, you get all these kind of human cities that you kind of feel safe in, and then just outside is the kind of wilderland, the completely wild, and we're back to the exit. Yeah, basically you've got this completely wild, horrible, evil land full of like beasts and things like that. It's a bit like, I suppose, like Dungeons and Dragons or a game like that, where you have a few civilized areas and everywhere else is just you just don't want to be there. And I don't think that's the kind of impression that Skyrim and Oblivion have. Morrowind you sort of did have, because Morrowind you did kind of feel that you had these centres of civilization and, well, these kind of outposts of civilization, and everything else around it was just this wild land that you didn't really quite understand. And Daggerfall did that well, but Oblivion, Skyrim didn't do that so well. I guess in Oblivion that, you know, I found Oblivion a bit silly, because you had this massive empire. I know the Imperial Empire was supposed to be collapsing at that time, but you had this massive empire, and that was supposed to have dominated Tamriel, and it still hadn't sorted out the bandits just outside the city, you know, a few minutes outside the city. Here, of course, evil and werewolves and vampires are everywhere, and you kind of get the impression that all these kind of city-states, these Breton city-states, have got themselves together to protect themselves and to keep out all this evil. That's the idea you got. But in Oblivion you don't have that, because in Oblivion you've sort of got the impression that, oh, this the empire is all-encompassing and super powerful, and it's not at all. It's just, oh, here's the orc. I wonder if we've got what we need over here. I don't think so. I don't think there's any treasure. He's got an elven flail, so we'll try and take that. Yeah, in Oblivion you don't really kind of get that impression that everyone's bandying together to keep out all the evil, nasty stuff, whereas you do here. Of course, you can be evil and nasty in Daggerfall if you like, and you can go around the cities as a werewolf or a vampire and start slaughtering people, and everyone kind of dies really easily. But you kind of feel that these kind of centres of population, I'm trying to climb up here, these centres of population are really trying to be civilized in a absolutely hostile environment. And if you look at the map, you've got these tiny little centres of civilization dotted all over the place, and that suits the game really well, I think. And I think that suits the idea of High Rockers really well. High Rock's supposed to be this country of lots of different city-states, just trying to live their lives, I suppose. Anyway, that's a bit of a rant for you. We'll carry on. We'll carry on just searching around. I mean, the clipping thing isn't. In Arena, I was watching this guy and Let's Play, and doing the Let's Plays, how he did it. He just basically, I mean, I never feel like I'm in particular danger fighting against these people, because they hardly ever hit you. It's only if there's several at a time that you've even got a possibility of getting killed. But in something like Arena, there's a way to allow them to hit them, and they can't really get around the corner. somewhat here, but the real secret to kind of you being so much better is that you're just incredibly fast. Now let's pile. I think I should pile my points into strength, and the reason is that I just want to carry more stuff on me. I just, no real other reason. I'm pretty much maxed out on my magicka, so I don't really need to do anything else with that. Now let's see what's down here. A lot of gold, 500 gold from that. So yeah, certainly, definitely worthwhile coming here. I've got absolutely tons of gold, although nothing to spend it on. I mean, if I go to any of these weapons shops, there's nothing I really want to buy. If I go to, let's say, if I go to a Mage's Guild, I suppose I could create a few more spells for myself. But I've got, I've got 30,000-40,000 in the bank, and I'm carrying around 10,000 now. So I'm gonna have to do some serious spending if I want anything. Anyway, let's explore down here using our handy levitation, one of the most important spells to have in my opinion. I wonder if this is just, looks like if it's just landed us back into near the start. So I kind of feel like I've cleared out most of this. By the way, something I haven't done is I haven't set a recall spell. All actually you need to do is just buy a teleport or buy a recall spell, and you can set yourself a mark. In Morrowind you have a particular mark spell and a recall spell. Here it's just one spell. Here you just cast teleport and it marks one place for you, and then you cast it again and then you're teleported there. So that slaughters that skeletal warrior. I suppose that arena clipping trick does work, because they don't like going around these doors. I also have difficulty getting around them myself. Right, what's this guy? He's got some dwarven stuff. I mean, I don't regret not taking the dwarven stuff, to be honest. I just don't. Or what I should say, it's called dwarven here, but I suppose it's Dwemer, still kind of Dwemer stuff. It's just not very useful. I prefer my silver stuff, because my silver stuff can harm ghosts. Dwemer stuff cannot. And my silver stuff can kill off all these werewolves as well, but Dwemer stuff can't. Let's just slaughter that. The only thing I want to get, of course, is... oh, look at this room. Okay. Now this is enormous. Right, this is the scope of the dungeon. Look at this. This is... wow, this is Castle Faleem. This... well, we'll pause things here anyway. We'll save anyway. And just to say, this does look kinda ridiculous, doesn't it, for a castle? Who on earth would build a castle like this? Well, again, levitation spell's useful. Sometimes this is a treasure point here. Bye bye, spider. A werewolf just died. He obviously just jumped off a bridge trying to get me as well. And I can't even remember where I came from. This is that big. Let's just kill this spider. We'll kill that spider. We'll make this place nice and secure. And what's behind this door? Okay, not too much. Well, we'll save